Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Saturday, July 12th. Happy Saturday, of course, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 7 guys on Dong Watch for today's MLB betting slate. Of course, going to give you my favorite 3 at the beginning. And then for those of you that want to spray the board with me, obviously I'm going to give you all 7 in this video. Regardless, would appreciate it if you could watch till the end. That would help me out a ton. And then if you could like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But before we get into today's picks, we got to do a recap from yesterday, which sucked. No doubt about it. Yesterday was brutal. I played 6 guys. None of those guys hit a home run. It was a pretty brutal home run night in general by like 9 p.m., which is basically when I go to sleep. I think only like 3 home runs had been hit, something like that. More home runs were hit in the night games. Unfortunately, none of them were mine. Suzuki, Seager, Barger, Springer, Colt, Keith, and Burleson. None of them came through with home runs. You know, I played yesterday a little bit heavier than I normally do in terms of total units risked. Normally, if I'm playing 6 guys, I'm playing them for like 0.15 or 0.2 units. I decided to up my unit size, and I got burned for it. Unfortunately, that kind of thing happens. It is what it is. Down 1.5 units yesterday. That now brings our results on the year back into the red, which is unfortunate because we had gotten ourselves in the green. Down 1.4 units on the entire year is not terrible. Down 1.3% ROI is also not terrible. Obviously, we're hoping to get in the green, but these kind of things happen. If you're putting 1 unit on every single home run pick, you are profiting. You're up about 30 units. That sounds a little bit wonky. How can I be in the red versus 1 unit on every single one is in the green? This number is heavily inflated by the fact that I went on a pretty big hot streak when I decided to spray the board with lower unit sizing. So if I'm playing 10 guys at 0.1 unit and 4 of them hit and I'm up 1.5 units, well, that's up 15 units if you're putting 1 unit on every single one. Granted, on nights like last night, you're down 6 units, and I think that's a little bit too much for me to play that much on a home run, which is why I lower my unit size. Regardless, very confident that we're going to turn things around tonight after being a little bit of a rougher couple days. Another awesome slate of weather games. I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays and Athletics game, phenomenal. Red Stadium, phenomenal. White Sox Stadium, phenomenal. Good weather at the Brewer Stadium. I don't have anything in that one. Good weather at the Yankee Stadium. I don't have anything in that one as well. 2 really good pitchers on the mound. And then good weather at Angel Stadium. Mostly agreement with Weather Edge as well. They love the Yankees game. They like the Cardinals game, which I will have a play in. They like the Reds, which I have a play. The White Sox, which I have a play. Don't have anything in the Red Sox. And then they like the Angels slightly, which again I have a play in. But we can get right into it. So I'm going to start with my favorite play on the board, which is Mike Trout. We're taking him to hit a home run. Stinky odds on him, admittedly. He's at plus 285 at FanDuel. That is the best offered price for Trout. Yeah, I don't love the odds here, but I love everything about this play. I already talked about the weather's good at Angel Stadium. It's a hitter park with slight winds. I mean, winds blowing out isn't really going to help. It's more so the stadium is good. And they're going up against Zach Gallen, who was once a really good pitcher, has really struggled this year. Now, he struggled both against righties and lefties. Home run every 19 at-bats against righties is bad. Every 23 at-bats against lefties is bad. And then you look at his last 5 starts, hasn't really gotten any better for him. Home run every 14 at-bats. It's actually gotten worse against righties. And you look at these numbers. I mean, 13% barrel rate, 56% hard hit rate, 40% fly ball rate. And the K rate of 23% is mediocre. It's not super high. It's also not super low. It's kind of in the middle. That's exactly what mediocre means. But Trout, you know, the home runs have not quite been there for him. Granted, he did have a day, I think, where he hit 2 over the last week. But you look at him over the last 7 days, 10 hard hits and 3 barrels. Those aren't going to put him among the tops in the MLB, but those are healthy numbers, which I really like. Is that launch angle of 20 degrees is really good. The pull rate of above 40% is acceptable, and the fly ball rate of almost 50% is acceptable, and that ground ball rate is really low at 30%. So Trout has been hitting the ball pretty well recently. He generally hits righties better than lefties, despite the fact that he is a right-handed hitter himself. And Gallen, he should be able to have the advantage against. He hasn't seen him in a couple years, but he did take him yard 2 years ago when he saw him. Not that I really care that much about batter versus pitcher stuff. But this is really just fading a bad pitcher and backing a hot batter in Mike Trout, hot at the plate in Mike Trout. He only had one hard hit yesterday, but it was annihilated. It was a double. That was 113 miles per hour off the bat. Launch angle needed to be higher, but that's still pretty impressive when it's that exit velocity. And again, over the last 7 days, 10 hard hits and 3 barrels are decent numbers. So I like Mike Trout a lot in this one. That's my first one of the day, my first of also my 3 favorites. Next up, I'm taking J-Ram, Jose Ramirez. We're taking him to hit a home run. A little bit stinky odds on him as well, admittedly, at plus 310 odds at FanDuel is the best offered price on J-Ram. So the thing with him is the weather's phenomenal. I should start with that. It's plus 28 home run index according to Ballpark Pal. According to Weather Edge, it is plus 31%. It's in the 80s, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to mostly the left field, but out to the outfield in general, which is good. And, you know, J-Ram has had a tough year overall. He's been good recently. You look at him over the last 14 days, 8 hard hits and 3 barrels. So the hard hits are low, but the barrel rate is good. 3 barrels in the last week is good. And the same thing that we liked about Trout, we like about J-Ram, except even better. 60% fly ball rate, 70% pull rate. The reason why that pull rate is important is because the more you pull the ball in the air, the less far the ball needs to travel. So you can hit a ball 400 feet to center field. That's not going to be a home run. Where you hit a ball 350 feet to right field, that could be a home run. And J-Ram, the reason he's a good home run hitter in his career, not necessarily this year, but in his career, and he's been awesome recently, 4 home runs in the last week, so he is coming around, is because of that fly ball rate and that pull rate. So you can accept a lower hard hit rate for him. You look at the last 14 days, 4 barrels, 16 hard hits. Those are acceptable numbers for J-Ram. And he has another situation where the starting pitcher is somebody that you want to fade, somebody that you want to take home runs against. It's Sean Burke of the White Sox. You look at him overall, the last 5 starts for him, home run every 17 basically at bats is really bad. You look at him against lefties, which J-Ram is a switch hitter, so he's going to be batting lefty against Sean Burke. And those numbers are disgusting. Home run every 12 at-bats, 8% barrel rate is bad, 50% hard hit rate is bad, line drive plus fly ball rate. The line drive rate is low, but the fly ball rate is acceptable. Now, he does strike guys out a lot. So unlike Zach Gallen, who had terrible percentages and a low strikeout rate, it's a little bit better for Sean Burke. But the amount of home runs that he's allowed, and the biggest issue, obviously, is this stadium, which is phenomenal for home runs. I like J-Ram a lot in this one. He did hit a home run, I think, in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. So he's been swinging a hot bat. That is my second play of the day and my also second of my 3 favorites. And then my last one of my 3 favorites is a guy that has come through for us a lot, but also a guy that recently I've just been picking him on the wrong days. Hopefully that's not today. Is Kurtz, Nick. We're taking Kurtz to hit a home run. He is offered at plus 390 odds at Bet365 is the best offered price for him. You know, he's been in the mid 300s over the last week or so 390 for him is not that bad. I know it looks like a tough matchup according to Ballpark Pal, but with a young hitter like Kurtz, there's not a ton of data on him, so he's not going to look as good, honestly, as he has been recently, and really since like May, the end of May when he got called up, he's been raking. The biggest thing for him is Gausman is not a bad pitcher, but he has an issue against lefties, and he has an issue with his four-seam fastball, and that is a death sentence on the year. 23 or home run every 23 at bats to lefties is not terrible, but we see all 3 are hit off the four-seamer. We see he throws that literally 55% of the time. And then you look at the entire year for Kevin Gausman, it's a home run every basically 25 at bats, which is subpar, but not quite the below 20 number that we like. But 7 of the 8 home runs have been hit against lefties. And you look at four-seam fastballs against right-handed pitchers, the numbers for Kurtz are amazing. Now, he strikes out a quarter of the time, so his strikeout rate is high, but 40% fly ball rate, 85% hard hit rate, 18% barrel rate against the four-seam fastball from righties. That is phenomenal. That's over the last month. You look at the last 2 months for Kurtz, and the numbers are still amazing. 22% barrel rate, 65% hard hit rate, above 50% fly ball rate. And the K rate is a little bit low, so he's been striking out more recently. Those numbers are amazing across the board. Really, really, really good. And I get that he's hit a home run in back-to-back games. I think I took him 3 days ago when he did not hit a home run. I didn't take him the last 2 days when he did. Haven't been able to get this guy on the right night, but in a situation like this where it's a fastball pitcher and Kurtz annihilates fastballs, you look at the splitter, which isn't really a home run pitch for Gausman. It's just a way to set up his fastball. Throws that 40% of the time. Kurtz hasn't seen a ton. He's seen 4. He struck out 3 times, and he hit a ball 390 feet the 4th time. So that's kind of how it goes with Kurtz. He'll strike out a lot, but he will swing for the fences. And I think at 390, that's not a bad price on him at all. So that is my third of my 3 favorites. So the remaining 4, I'm still taking myself, but are part of my spray the board tactic so we can get started. And back to this Angels game, I'm taking Joe Adell to hit a home run. He is best offered at 390 odds at FanDuel. Ballpark Pal does like him a lot. You look at all the batters, he's like the 5th most likely to hit a home run. They have him at 372. We're getting him at 390, so it's slightly positive EV according to Ballpark Pal. I already mentioned the pitching matchup against Zach Gallen, who has not been good against righties. He's not been good all year. Has also not been good against righties. And you go back to the Angels hitters, and you look at Adell. This is over the last 14 days. Leads the team both in barrels and in hard hits. 22 hard hits in the last 14 days, 6 barrels. Are pretty good numbers. And then you look at the last week. Not quite as good as Trout, but acceptable with 8 hard hits and 2 barrels. So, in June, Adell was raking, hitting the crap out of the baseball. He's cooled down from that a little bit. He didn't have any hard hits yesterday, but you look at him prior to that, to look at like the really immediate, he had 2 hard hits and a barrel in 2 straight games heading in to yesterday. So I'm not really scared off of one bad game that he had yesterday because he had been good prior to that. And you look at these hard hit numbers. 2, 3, 3, then a little bit of a stretch, 3, 3, 3, a little bit of a stretch, 2, 1, 2. You go back to like June when he was raking 2 barrels, 2 barrels. So he's been good for like 6 weeks now. And even the last 7 days and the last 14 days are still pretty good for him. So I like Joe Adell at 390. Next up, we're going back to the Guardians game, and we're taking Angel Martinez. I'm not sure the best way to pronounce it, but we're taking Martinez to hit a home run. I like his odds a lot. He's definitely got the highest odds that I'm playing on the day. He's plus 700 odds at FanDuel. That's obviously really good. Really nice price on FanDuel compared to the other books and compared to Ballpark Pal, who have him priced at 545, and we're getting him at 700. I already talked about the weather in this one. I already talked about the pitching matchup. So we go back to the Guardians, and you look at who's tied with J-Ram in terms of barrels. It's Martinez. He's got 3. His numbers aren't quite as good as J-Ram. Launch angle's a little bit lower. Pull rate's lower. Flat ball rate's lower. But his line drive rate is 30% higher. He's only hitting a ground ball 18%, 19% of the time. That's really, really good. That is exactly what you're looking for in a good weather situation against a pitcher like Sean Burke, who can allow home runs. Look at the last 2 weeks. Not amazing for Martinez. It's really just the last week where he's done all his damage. So you look at him, and I'm not sure. You look at him, and he was ice cold for a long time, but recently he's been decent. 1 hard hit, 1 barrel, 1 hard hit, 1 barrel, 2 hard hits, 1 barrel. The second game with the doubleheader wasn't great yesterday, but he did have a hard hit in the first one. And really, we're looking at the plus 700 price for 3 barrels over the last week and a good matchup against Sean Burke, who I mentioned is a home run guy. So I like him, Angel Martinez, to hit a home run. The next 2, Ronald Acuna Jr., we're taking him to hit a home run. Ronnie, he is offered at plus 360 odds at FanDuel, is the best offered price for him. So the thing with Ronnie is when he came back from injury, he was raking for like 3 weeks. It was phenomenal. Then he went on a cold streak. Now he's been hitting well. It's kind of the ebbs and flows of a baseball season. And we're backing him based on his ridiculous EV logs from yesterday. First of all, he had 3 hard hits, so that's good. 2 doubles, that's good. You look at him, 113 miles an hour off the bat, 18-degree launch angle. If this was like 5 degrees higher, this was a home run. Another double, 110 miles per hour off the bat, 15-degree launch angle. If this was like 8 launch angle degrees higher. It's a home run. Then he had another single that was 98.9 miles per hour off the bat. So 2 hits above 100. 2 hits actually above 110 is incredibly impressive. This stadium is generally a pitcher's park. I know yesterday I misspoke and accidentally said hitter's park when I was referring to a stadium. I mean pitcher's park for Busch Stadium. But today it's good weather because, or it's good home run weather because it's hot, I should say. Temperatures in the mid 80s, which is good. And there are winds blowing out, double-digit winds blowing out to a stadium that is somewhat receptive to wind. Not like Wrigley Field, of course, because nothing is, but slightly receptive to wind. And the pitcher he's going up against, you look at his strictly home run numbers, and you're going to say, oh, this guy doesn't give up anything to righties. Only 2 home runs allowed to righties on the year. But you look at his advanced stats. That barrel rate at 5% is not terrible, but the hard hit rate at 44% is. The line drive plus fly ball rate above 50% is not good. And you look at like the K rate, extremely low. The Sierra, 5.1. That's disgusting. Sierra basically measures the quality of the batted balls that a pitcher allows when looking at their strikes and walks. Anything 4 and below is bad. Him at 5.1 is disgusting. That's on the year. You look at the last 5 weeks for him, and yeah, he is not allowed a home run to a right-handed hitter. His K rate is down. His Sierra is down. His barrel rate also is down. Hard hit rate is down, but the line drive and fly ball rate are higher. And you look at the pitch mix, the sinker and the sweeper, they get hit really, really hard. Both of those pitches get hit hard by righties. So all Ronald Acuna Jr. needs to get a hold of one to send one out of the stadium. And again, just get this launch angle a little bit higher. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And with these EV logs, it's hard to ignore. And so that's why we're going with Ronald Acuna Jr. to hit a home run, despite the fact that the pitching matchup is not phenomenal from a home run perspective. It's phenomenal from, like, if you want to take bases and stuff, it's really good. It's a +10, A+ matchup for Ronald Acuna Jr., just not necessarily specifically for a home run. And then my last pick, I'm going with Mickey Moniak to hit a home run. He is best offered at +350 odds at Bet365. You can always trust a guy with initials MM. I've always said that. So the thing with Mickey Moniak, Red Stadium, amazing 4 home runs, +34% home run differential. It's hot, temperature in 90, high 80s. The wind, it's really blowing right to left at double digits, but the Red Stadium isn't super receptive to wind, so that won't really matter. It's really just the temperature in an already hitter's park. And Brady Singer is pitching for the Reds, who doesn't give up anything to righties, and even these numbers are low. I mean, the Sierra is somewhat high, but you look at him against lefties, and barrel rate about just below 10%. This is over the last 5 weeks when he's allowed 1 home run to a lefty. That Sierra is admittedly kind of low, but barrel rate, 9.6% is bad. Hard hit rate, 53.7% is bad. Line drive rate, almost 30% is bad. And the fly ball rate at 24% is a little bit low, but it's because that line drive rate is high. So yeah, he hasn't given up a lot of home runs to lefties over the last 5 starts. Nothing in his numbers show that that should be the case. And you look at him on the year, it's a home run every 25 at-bats, which if you take out his last 5 starts, it was like every 15 at-bats. So, and again, his numbers across the board are bad. Now, the fly ball rate is lower recently, but the barrel rate is about the same. The hard hit rate is about the same. The line drive rate is about the same. So nothing about him shows a pitcher that shouldn't be giving up a ton of home runs. And Mickey Moniak has been hitting the ball pretty well. You know, the Rockies, obviously one of the worst teams in the history of baseball, but Moniak hasn't been bad. He's got 5 barrels over the last 14 days, which is very impressive. And you look at the last week, he's got 2 barrels and 8 hard hits, which are acceptable numbers. Not amazing, but acceptable. He's really only in the lineup when he's facing right-handed pitching. So that's like his numbers from like a day's perspective aren't always going to be good if the Rockies have been facing lefties or something like that. But I like him in the situation. I like him in the pitching matchup against Brady Singer. And that is all we got. So 7 total guys to hit home runs, with my 3 favorites being Trout, Kurtz, and J-Ram. The other ones being Adele, Mickey Moniak, Martinez, and Ronald Acuna Jr. I put 0.2 units on these guys, so I'm risking 1.4 units total. If you just take the 3, I'd put a half unit on them. That's how I would recommend playing it. In need of a bounce back after a tough day yesterday. Let's hope that happens. I appreciate everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bet responsibly, of course, and have a good one.